What's up, everybody? This is Same Sis,
but different.
and I'm your girl, Shay Live.
And I'm Aja.
And we have a super special guest with us today for episode 12. You might notice her from the big screen, from Good Trouble, or This Is Us, or the first season of American Soul. And you can catch her tonight on the second season of American Soul, the premiere. We have none other than Iantha Richardson.
Hey guys! we're the hosts, we're the audience, we're the crowd.
All of it. But today is a big day with the premiere on BET, so we want to talk all things American Soul.
Yes.
So I'll just start out with, if anybody doesn't know what American Soul is, it's pretty much like the story of Don Cornelius and Soul Train. And I'm obsessed.
Thank you.
But before we get into all the questions, we do want to do our cheers. So, Aja, you want to do the cheers? You want to do the honors?
Yes! Thank you, so much for being on our show. Happy premiere day. Thank you. Thank you. The success in the world. We're so proud of you and we love you so much.
Yeah.
Cheers. Wait, what are you guys drinking?
This is red wine. I do not know which kind it is. There we go.
Well, go off.
This is chilled tequila in a mug.
And this is hot green tea. Variety.
Right.
Well, I did want to start off by asking, as I've watched season 1 and just obviously none of us lived through the 70s, so it's kind of like cool to see what it was all like back then. And I know about the style and all of that, but I think some of the stuff I was kind of surprised about. And I kind of was wondering, how hard was it to get into character of somebody from an era that you didn't really live through? And especially a legendary character like Tessa, who was such a big part of Soul Train.
Yeah, so honestly, it wasn't too hard to get into character just because people are people no matter what time period it is in life. The things that change are aesthetics, in my opinion, language, how you speak, but that's up to the writers. So that's their whole ordeal. Clothing, which our amazing costume designers, Rita and Lita, already had on lock. Set design, things of that nature, the world is what creates the 70s. But the heart of everything, I think, emotions are emotions, feelings are feelings, no matter who you are, where you are. Sadness is sadness, happiness is happiness, empathy is empathy. And so in that regard, it was fairly not easy, but it didn't take much to get into Tessa. She's a well-rounded woman, which I think reflects a lot of millennial women today. So I just kind of tapped into where I am personally on my journey in life, as well as people who came before me, like my mother and my grandmother, my aunts, people like that who did live in that area and who I've watched my entire life, and just how they've navigated things just a bit differently than I have. But Tessa, I think, is pretty evolved, so it was really helpful to have a character like that. She didn't bite her tongue too often, so I didn't have to change too much about my own personality. But yeah, it was a little bit of a task, but not too much. The world that was created was awesome, and it was super fun.
Nice. Well, what kind of preparation did you have to get? Because acting obviously is you being someone else. What preparation did you have to do to get into Tessa's actual person? Like you said, you had a lot of similarities, but what did you have to prepare for?
I watched a lot of Soul Train videos just to get how the dancers moved, because especially in season 1, Tessa was still a dancer. She still wanted to move. She still wanted to be a part of the environment as almost one of her students. But just watching the environment and how the life that she orchestrated moved informed a lot of how I moved in the world. To be a teacher in a space is to know it better than the people who are doing it. And so to watch those videos were just super informative, just in terms of like what I already knew, and to come in with confidence with all of this that's happening around. And it's so much happening on the Soul Train stage, which is really awesome at all times, that watching that beforehand just kind of prepped me for what I was jumping into when it was those scenes. As far as like other dance scenes, I mean, I just made sure that I was on my toes, because Fatima had a lot of shit to give, like great choreography, but it was hard. So I made sure that I was in ballet often and like working out continuously, because that was tiring. Dancing a lot of solos like by myself. Normally as a concert dancer, we have like 3-minute solos, and that's cool. But on set, you're doing these 3-minute solos back to back to back, and there's nobody else's energy to feed off of. So I'm like, okay, we got one more take, y'all. And they don't know. Like, no director really knows what it takes to do all of this. So in that regard, a lot of physical preparation, but mainly videos and talking to the people around me that had information that was greater than me, like family members who were in that time, was also super helpful.
Well, sidebar, you are a graduate of the Fordham program, the Ailey program, and I was just so impressed because not to date us, but we've been out of college for a minute, and the the LA concert dance scene, like, is really non-existent. So for you to showcase your technique on that level years after, like, we've been really seriously training that way, was really, really impressive.
Thank you. No, it literally took me back. My body was going down because I had not danced like that in forever. Like, probably since the first year when I moved to LA, because I did dance with the company when I first moved here. But yeah, it was a lot of physical therapy and getting back into it. But it was a lot of fun because that's my first passion. So yeah.
So is it safe to say that the physicality of the role was the most difficult part, or was there something even more difficult in this Tessa role?
I think that the physicality was probably the most difficult. Just it gave longer days more length. So if I'm already working a 14-hour day and I can't walk because I just did this scene that's me doing a solo 20 times, and I'm like, I gotta remember lines now. Like, it just made everything feel longer than it normally would. So yeah, I could say that's the most difficult part probably, and even that, it's still fun in it. But
yeah, so I guess on the other side of that, what was the coolest part about playing Tess?
Ooh, her costumes. I think that Rita and Lita really get, like, they let you pick out your own, like, they're very collaborative. Our costume designers are literally Emmy Award winners. Like, they are gonna have an Emmy one day because they let you as an actor dive into your character and collaborate with them instead of just popping clothes on you. They're like, does this feel comfortable? Is this the character? You know who you're playing. You've spent time with this woman. Like, how do you feel in these clothes? So I think just stepping into the 70s, along with the set design, but like with the afro and the clothing, like, just being in the world was the coolest thing about doing a period piece. Because it's one thing for us to all like wear our normal clothes and see what we see day to day, but to go back in time literally was really, really cool.
Yeah, the 70s are definitely like a complete vibe.
Yeah.
So you said that you were able to collaborate a lot. Was it so much like they would pull pieces and just let you like have creative freedom, or were you able to, like, I know a lot of times on set you don't get to say no to things, you know, that they put you in. Were you able to be like, you know, Tessa, I don't feel like Tessa would match with this or like this or anything?
The first season, I will say, there was a lot of creative freedom given to us, especially when it came to clothes. So yes, they would pick out a rack for us that they probably got, I think they got it from like a lookbook from the showrunner and other producers who are higher up of like, this is what we want this girl to look like. But then within that, they would have a little bit of wiggle room to say like, all right, well, how do you feel in these specific these specific looks. Like, what do you want to wear? Is a dress? Are these her colors? Like, are you comfortable? What do you
Well,
do you think
Tessa
she would wear?
Tessa is a sassy one. So like,
She's a little
and she was dancing a ton.
Yeah.
So I'm like, she had to be comfortable.
She had to
Yeah.
be comfortable, and not everything was comfortable. So like, there was this one time on set.
Just to be
walking-
clear.
Yeah.
Well,
I
the
remember
70s
walking
are like
out.
very heavy, like polyesters and like
Yes.
tweeds and those type of materials that you're like,
Yes.
ma'am.
This isn't it. This isn't comfortable. I can't dance in this. And I did have the ability to say that. Our showrunner was super open too. So yeah, it was really cool. It was super collaborative in that regard. Like, I could say what I could and cannot do, and just as a dancer, what we would and would not wear, even though it was the 70s, because it's very rare that people know what dancers wear or how we look or what looks good on us. They're kind of like, oh, this is what a ballerina would wear, and you're like, oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me.
Isn't
Let me
that so
tweak this.
crazy? They're like, you're a size 9 shoe. You can wear an 8. You're like,
Yeah. No.
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 How long would you say it took you in hair and makeup, like every day?
Like an hour and a half, depending. If it was like a intricate bun, probably an hour and a half. If it was just putting on an afro, probably an hour. The makeup was pretty simple. Tessa didn't do a lot. It wasn't like the 80s. So yeah, probably an hour and a half.
Not too bad.
Uh-uh.
Well, obviously we're all gonna be watching season 2 tonight. But before we watch, give us some insight. Has Tessa changed much from season 1 to season 2? And if so, like, give us the tea.
Okay. I can't give you too much tea.
Okay.
But I can say that she has changed. This season, you'll see all the characters have changed. It's been a time lapse between where the first season ended and this season starts. And in that period of time, a lot has gone on. I think where we ended in season 1 was, I said to Don, maybe I'll come back. We'll see. To Soul Train. So it's like, do I come back? Do I not come back? I went on tour with a dance company. Like, fulfilled my dream of being in this company. I have a husband who was amazing, is amazing. So all those things, like, there are a lot of things. There were children being talked about. Like, I wanted a child and I didn't want a child. It was going back and forth. So it's like, does she have a baby now? I don't know. But a lot has happened in the time lapse. We're still in the 70s. I can't say that we didn't jump like a decade or anything, but a lot. She is a whole different girl.
Ooh,
like,
I'm
even
so
the way
excited.
that her hair. Like, I can say she does not dance. I do not dance at all this season. Did not dance, not once.
I kind of figured that because the last time I saw you dancing in the trailer, and now
Yes.
I was like,
she's not
where's
there.
she dancing at?
right. She's not there. No. No, but our dances are still like amazing. There's still a lot of dancing in it. The core dancers are so dope. So I commend them. But yeah, Tessa doesn't dance. She's out here.
A lot has changed for Miss Tessa.
Yeah.
So for this season, there's a lot of cool special guests coming up. One being Babyface.
Yes.
Did you get to interact with him? Did you get to like chat?
I did.
Oh man, I'm sorry you did.
No, because the only people who really, I mean, he came to set once in a while. I said hi, probably once or twice. The people who mainly got to interact with Babyface were the ones who were singing, and that wasn't my gift in life. So I didn't get flued out. All the singers like Chris and Caitlin, they got flown out back to LA like between their sets to record, and Kelly, of course,
so crazy.
because he produced. He is our music supervisor of the show, so they work closely with him. But barely
You know.
barely touched a Babyface. But the rest of them, I did meet because I did have scenes with pretty much all the other special guests. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, at least we all got to see him and Teddy do their thing
in the verses.
in the verses battle.
You know, I didn't even watch it. Memes are such a great thing because I already know what happened and I didn't even look.
We did mention that there are a lot of like cameos and new people coming in season 2. Like I know in the trailer I saw DC on Fly, Young Jock, Melanie Fiona. Like there's a lot of well-known people in there. But also like, you know, DC Young Fly is a little bit new. But who's your favorite new character and why?
You know what? I'm gonna say DC. I thought he did such a good job. He's funny as heck too.
He is funny.
He's such a character, like such a character. But he's a sweet guy, like a really, really sweet guy who came to set and really gave it his all. Like some people, not necessarily any of our guests that I knew of. I didn't work with all of them. Once again, most of them, but not all like intimately. Like I didn't work with Young Jock and a few others, but GC really was committed to what he was doing, right? He was super committed, and I didn't like. You don't go into a space expecting much from people who don't work day to day on acting as a craft, but this is something that he really wants to do and like move forward with, and I commended him. Like he cared. Like there would be times where he was like, no, we gotta run it back, I gotta do this scene one more time, and I was like, okay, you care. Like you care. He would sit and like watch and just be very engaged with everything that was going on and taking it seriously. So I appreciated that. He was dope, so I'm gonna give it to him.
Nice.
He seems that way.
His character looks funny too. I don't know if he is, but he looks funny.
He's funny. In person, you're just like, what? Like, what are you talking about?
Trey and I watch a lot of Wallin' Out, and he's just like, he's so good on that. I'm like, yeah, you are a funny guy. Well, you mentioned your, I guess, rookie pick of actors. You also get to interact and act with a lot of veterans. Who would you say is the most influential to have worked with?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Or your favorite? We won't tell.
Or my favorite, Sinqua. I'll put Sinqua because I have a lot of scenes with him. We go at it. I like to go at it with people on set. Like when I have very like heavy scenes, and we have heavy scenes, especially this season because Tessa's even more spicy, if you can believe it. So she really goes for it and speaks her mind and speaks up for herself. So I feel like a lot of our scenes, honestly, more than even, I guess last season it would have been like me and Phil had a lot of the really heavy, intimately heavy scenes because he was my husband and I was telling him about like a whole abortion thing and ex-husband. But this season it's definitely with Don Sinqua, so he wins. Ding ding ding. Favorite.
Yeah, Sinqua's an incredible actor.
Yes,
for a lot
he's
of
so
people
good.
Listening, he's like done so much, and he's very young to have done like so much.
Like I go to his IMDb and I'm just like, wait, what? Like, how many series regulars have you been? Like how many shows and movies? What?
Wild. The other day, for everyone, you know, listening at home, we are friends with Sinqua and he's the coolest. And he was telling me that he like, what did he say? He hasn't shot anything in LA, like, or he's shot maybe one thing in his career in LA. I'm like, oh, darling, you are booked and blessed. He kills it. He killed it on Power and he killed it on American Soul. So that's very cool. That's very cool to hear. Yeah, you guys have awesome on-screen chemistry for sure.
Yeah, that's dope. He's really good.
Yeah.
Since you've been filming for the last, I guess, 2 years, right? What have you learned about Soul Train that maybe people like, or you didn't know, or like was shocking to you that maybe we don't know, if anything?
I mean, I learned so much, but I'm not sure if it's like, I just
Is there any like
know,
interesting, cool facts, I guess?
Because I feel like Because I feel like at least us, we were past Soul Train generation, obviously, but
Way past.
we actually, I don't remember how old we would have been, but when Shamar Moore was Soul Training,
Yeah.
we were around.
90s, 2000,
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say
yeah.
in the 90s, I definitely was like learning the Soul Train line, watching Soul
Yes.
Train.
But it was
Um,
definitely the 90s version of the Soul Train, right?
Exactly.
Right.
It's not the same. I would say that it started in Chicago. That's something that I didn't know. I thought it was like in LA, like a heavy LA thing. So many Soul Train dancers who I didn't know about. Like, our casting director was a Soul Train dancer, Robbie Reed. Random as hell.
Oh,
but
no
there's so
way.
many. Yeah. I'm like, wait, what? So crazy. I think somebody else's like mom was a Soul Train dancer. It's a bunch of Soul Train dancers. Like if you ask your parents, they probably know one. I didn't know that the show was the
Do you know if
longest.
it's true if the Soul Train, none of the Soul Train dancers got paid? Is that like
Oh yeah,
that's a
that
total
one's
fact?
true too. Yeah, that's the truth. They all got paid in chicken boxes from KFC. That is true.
Not even the bowl.
Nope.
Wow.
2 chickens, two pieces of chicken,
I hope their rent
and a
was
biscuit.
paid.
And that was
Wow.
it. That was a big thing. People used to call Don a cheapskate, but you know, I mean, his whole thing was he was doing it for Black culture, and like the amount of finances he was able to get was very slim to none in comparison to Bandstand. So he did what he needed to do. So it's like a tricky situation there, right? It's like you want to do what's best for everyone, but at the same time, like you got to pay your dancers. They are what makes the show. So that's what Tessa advocates for the entire show. You got to pay my dancers. So.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Tessa, darling.
Right. Because I was like, when I
paved
heard
the way.
that, I was just like, is that true? That can't be true.
Could you imagine, Shayna, if Iantha and I were just out here booking jobs for like a
For
2-piece
chicken?
and a Coke? Like, oh my God. Oh
What
my
was happening?
goodness.
And they would rehearse, they would shoot like, I want to say like 5 to 8 episodes, at least 3 in a day. But like in a week, it would be like 5 to 8 episodes in a week. It would be like
So
crazy
crazy.
amounts of work for chicken.
Yikes. Well,
Sorry, and
you've
before I
given us-
ask that, sorry, you were
Yeah.
gonna say it's the longest something. I cut you off. I didn't want you to skip over anything.
Oh no, it's the longest syndicated running dance show of all time. So like longer than like So You Think You Can Dance, or even American Idol, all those things, like the longest
Wow.
dance show, yeah.
So I guess he ultimately did do it for the culture. We can give him that.
That is
That's
true.
props. He did an amazing, like so many people have gone through Soul Train. Like you name every single artist, they probably have been there, and it's really crazy. And it was for us, by us, Black owned, Black ran. He never sold it to anyone who was not of the African American hue, intentionally, so that he could keep it within the family. So he definitely did do it for us, by us, and it's really hard in this industry. If anyone knows about like owning something, to keep it in like just for us, that's almost impossible. So he did a good job.
Well, thank you for giving us so much insight, some cool insight on the show, and a lot of things that a lot of people would have never, known. Like we said again, it is premiering tonight on BET at 10 p.m. With our last question, if possible, if at all, can you give us any same-sis exclusive on American Soul?
Give us the goods.
Even the tiniest little chicken taste.
I can say that just about Tessa, or about anybody on the show? Are we just
About the show in general?
Whatever won't get you in trouble.
What get you in trouble? Well, since it's premiering today, I don't think anything would get me in trouble. So we'll say Tessa is a free woman now.
She's not married.
He's free. I said free. Free as a bird. She's out here living her life.
Exclusive. Okay. Well, I guess like the rest of the world, we're gonna have to watch and see.
Hot girl.
What happens with Hot Girl Summer with Tessa? Okay, she's having a hot girl life.
I'm excited. I cannot wait for the premiere. Can't wait. Cannot wait. But we do like to play a game with everybody before they leave. So before we get you out of here, it's basically going to be the Fuck, Marry, Kill American Soul Dance Edition. 1970s dances. We're going to give you 3 of them. And then the 2000 or 2020 dances now. And basically you pick like your favorite, you're like, and then like absolute no, throw it out.
Okay.
So the 1970s dances are the hustle, the bump, or the funky chicken. What you got?
We can kill the funky chicken. The bump, I guess, it's a like we'll marry
in the
it.
middle.
Yeah. And I really love the hustle. So
The hustle's a good one.
yeah. That's
I
me.
knew
There
you
you
were gonna choose the hustle. The hustle is prime
Yeah.
Soul Train dancing.
Right. And 70s. That's it.
Yep, for sure. Okay, the 2000s, or I guess the 2020 dances. We have the whoa. We have the floss.
Oof.
And we have the gangsta walk.
Actually, you know what? The floss I gotta kill because I used to be a teacher, and when that first came out, them kids was just lost in fairyland. So I'm over it.
Just a going.
I like the whoa, so I'm a fuck the whoa, and then I'll marry
The gangsta walk.
Yes.
And can we get a little example of your best hustles? Since when we were doing the 2020 dances, I didn't get any 70s dances.
Wait, the hustle? I feel like I need somebody to do it with me.
I know. I'm like, I'm doing it with you, girl.
Yes!
I'm doing it with you.
Did it.
Love it.
That was good. That was good. But we did want you to go ahead and plug yourself, plug the show before we get you out of here. Where can everybody find you, and how can they tune into American Soul?
You can find me on Instagram at Iantha Cherie, at IANTHASHERII. That's the same thing for Twitter. And I don't really use Facebook. And you can catch American Soul tonight on BET. And also on BET Plus. So yeah.
Darling, syndication on night 1, darling.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Make sure you guys are following us on all social media platforms as well at Same Sis Podcast. We are now on Apple Podcasts, so not just Spotify. You can listen to us at Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. You can watch us on YouTube. You can find us anywhere at this point. You know what I'm saying? And we are going to be coming back every Wednesday with a new episode, new guests, new topics, new everything. So make sure you're subscribed, make sure you're liking, reposting, and commenting.
Ow.
Iantha, we are so proud of you. Cannot wait to see you on TV tonight. And thank you again for coming on the show.
Love you so much. Love you guys.